And joining me now is North Dakota Senator Kent Conrad, chairman, of course, of the Senate Budget Committee, someone who's been here, done that for how many years have you gone through these negotiations, Senator? Let's
26.
talk about where we stand right now, because the House Republicans, the Speaker, did put out their proposal last night, and they're talking again about not raising rates, but handling the revenue side with deductions. But here's what Erskine Bowles told my friend Gwen Eiffel on the PBS NewsHour last night.
I am positive that to get a deal done, you're going to have higher tax rates on the top 2%. I'm equally sure that the $350 billion worth of cuts that the president put on the table for health care entitlements is not going to be sufficient to get the deal done. There's going to have to be some compromise.
Compromise, it's a dirty word in Washington. Senator Conrad, what do you think is going to be the outlines? Is there going to be a deal?
I think so. And, you know, it's not that far away. You know, if you took the president's revenue and you took the Republicans' cuts and made some modifications to them, relatively modest modifications to them, you'd have an overall package, counting what's already been done, of over $4 trillion, which is what you need to get the country back on track. So, you know, we're starting to edge closer to a position that if you took both sides' positions, you'd be very close to a reasonable outcome.
Well, one of the questions the president was asked today was, why don't you all get together and sit down at a table and hammer this thing out? Why don't they all go to Camp David or Andrews Air Force Base or some other place where we can't be bothering them and just hammer it out? You know, get rid of the lobbyists, get rid of Grover and all the rest on all sides, get the ARP people away, and just sit down and come out on the other end.
You know, I think that's ultimately what it takes, Andrea. We've seen that over the years, haven't we? Andrews Air Force Base, that agreement, I don't think it would be unreasonable for the leaders to go to Camp David and to stay there until they came back with an agreement. But it does take a certain amount of give and take back and forth before the moment is ripe. But I think we're getting close to that moment.
Would you tell the White House the same, that they've got to maybe make the first move to get the Speaker and everybody else around a table?
Look, I think the White House did a very wise thing in terms of laying out what they thought was important to an agreement on the revenue side of the equation, and to say to the Republicans, look, you want entitlement savings, tell us what they are. They've now done that. So now you've got the two positions outlined. That puts us in a position to reach a final agreement. And I have recommended to the White House at some point going to Camp David or some other location so you get away from the dueling press conferences, because at some point that can create its own dynamic and reduce the chances of getting an agreement. But so far, I think these discussions have been productive and constructive, and I think we are stepping closer to the potential for a deal.
That's the most positive thing I've heard in a long time, Senator. So score one for the Senate Budget Chairman's approach. A quick question, though, about another proposal that is being floated by people like Bob Rubin, Larry Summers, John Podesta, others with close ties with the White House, Pete Peterson and the Peterson Institute. What do you think of that proposal, which goes through $1.8 trillion in new revenue over a decade, raising the top rates to Clinton-era levels, raising taxes on cigarettes, alcohol, internet gambling, also obviously some pretty big dramatic cuts on the spending side? Is that a starter?
I thought it has a lot of merit. Look, part of what happens in Washington is the two sides spend too much time talking to each other and not listening to the other side. You know, once in a while the other side actually has a good idea. And the truth be told, in a package of this size, we're going to need to take the best ideas of both sides. And we're ready now. The country is ready. I believe the people of this country are going to say at the end of the day, if we get an agreement, gee, I don't like this, I don't like that, but you know what? It needed to be done. Thank goodness it's been done. And we can do this. We've done much harder things in the past. We got to, in some ways, kind of buck up those who are negotiating and tell them, hey, look, we'll be with you if you do what's right for the country. We may not agree with every detail, but you do what's right for the country, we're going to be with you, because it would put America in a preeminent position going forward. It'd be a great thing for America.
Senator Ken Conrad, thank you very much. Always good to see you.